let's talk about power factor in details. So here we'll discuss about the definitions, its significance, the causes of poor power factor and the disadvantage of the poor power factor, how the power factor can be improved. So first is the definition. As we have already discussed earlier that the power factor can be defined as cosine of the angle between voltage and current, where phi is the angle between voltage and current of the circuit. The next definition is the power factor can be defined as the ratio of resistance to impedance. And the third definition is the power factor can be defined as the ratio of active power to the apparent power. As we know that the active power is VI cos phi and the apparent power is V into I, where V and I in RMS. Therefore, we can write the power factor is cosine of the angle between voltage and current. It can be also defined as the ratio of resistance to impedance, and further it can be defined as the ratio of active power to the apparent power. Significance of the power factor. From the formula of the active power, we have seen that P is equal to VI cos phi, or we can write I is equal to P upon V cos phi. So from these two relations we can see that for a particular voltage and the circuit current, the power factor decides how much amount of power can be utilized. So here V into I is considered as the apparent power. Remember one thing, transformers, generators, these machines are basically designed based on the apparent power. But when it will be operated, then the power factor of the load will decide how much amount of power can be actually utilized. On the other hand, we can also consider from the second relation that if the amount of power is constant and if the supply voltage is also constant, then if the power factor of the load is low, then the current required to supply the amount of power will be increased. So from the second relation we can say if the power factor becomes low, that means the current of the circuit will be high and vice versa. That means if the amount of power will be constant, supply voltage is constant, then the amount of power factor will decide how much amount of current will be drawn from the supply for this particular amount of load. So this is the significance of the power factor. Next is the causes of poor power factor. From the definition of the power factor, we have seen that the power factor is the cosine of the angle between voltage and current. So if we draw the phasor diagram of the voltage and current for a particular circuit, we can see that the angle between voltage and current, that is phi, it will vary from 0 degree to 90 degree. In case of inductive circuit, the current always lag the voltage. This is for resistive inductive circuit. And similarly for resistive capacitive circuit, the current lead the voltage. But in either of the cases, the angle between voltage and current will be between 0 to 90 degree. So we can say that when the phi is equal to 90 degree, that means the power factor will be equal to 0. And when the value of phi is 0 degree, that means the power factor, that is cos phi, will be 1. Therefore, we can say the range of the power factor is from 0 to 1. As from the significance of the power factor, we have seen that if the amount of power factor is more, then for a particular system, we will get more amount of power for utilization. And similarly, we have seen that if the power factor will be more, then for a constant supply voltage and to supply a constant amount of power, the amount of current required will be less. Therefore, the power factor should be as high as possible, and the best condition will be the power factor should be 1. But there are some reasons for which the power factor becomes low. So let's see the concept, why the power factor becomes poor. So the first cause of low power factor is, normally in industries and in household applications, the AC motors are used, and except the overexcited synchronous motors, all the AC motors and transformers always operate at lagging power factor. So the first cause of low power factor is the AC motors and transformer, because they always operate at lagging power factor. The power factor of the AC motors varies from 0.4 to 0.95. This is for AC motors. Whereas the power factor of the transformer depends upon the load. If the nature of the load is such that the reactance is very high, then definitely the power factor will be low, because the power factor, the phase angle phi, can also be represented as tan inverse x upon r. It may be XL, it may be XC, depending upon the nature of the circuit. So when we use the transformer, then in the secondary side of the transformer, what are the loads are connected, depending upon their impedance, the power factor may be varies. The second condition of the low power factor is the arc lamp. It is a special type of lamp. There are some specific applications. The arc lamp operate at a very low power factor, and definitely it is also the lagging power factor. Remember, always the almost all the cases the power factor is lagging in nature. The third option is the industrial furnaces. Like arc furnace or induction furnace. These are the nature of the load that operate at a very low power factor. It may be as low as 0.2 lagging. So it makes the overall power factor of the system very low. The fourth reason for low power factor is the power factor decrease with the decrease in load. The power factor becomes low if the load is low. For example, if we consider an induction motor which is used in almost all the applications in household as well as in industrial applications. In household it is single phase induction motor, in industry it is 3-phase induction motor. If the induction motor run at full load, then its power factor is 0.85 to 0.9. If the induction motor operate at 75% of the full load, 75% of full load, then the power factor will be reduced to 0.8. If the induction motor runs at 50% of full load, then the power factor becomes 0.7. And if the induction motor runs at 25% of full load, then the power factor becomes as low as 0.5. So here we can see that as the load is decreased, then the power factor of the system will also be reduced. The next option is the fifth point for low power factor is if the supply voltage is more, if the supply voltage is more and load is 0 or very low, then also the power factor will become poor. So these are the reasons for low power factor. So if we see further, the AC motors and transformers runs at a lagging power factor. It makes the overall system of the power factor poor. Arc lamp operates at a low power factor. Industrial furnace, that is arc furnace and induction furnace, operates at a very low power factor, for example 0.2. The power factor becomes low if the load is also low. For example, if the induction motor run at lower amount of percentage of the full load, then its power factor is gradually decreasing. And finally, if the supply voltage is more and the load is 0 or very low, then also the power factor becomes low. This condition arises during the night or during the situation when the power consumption by the customers are very low. In that case, the supply voltage becomes more and the load becomes almost negligible. So it makes the overall power factor of the systems as low. Let's see what are the effects of low power factor. As we have already discussed, the active power is VI cos phi. So I will be equal to P upon V cos phi. So if P and V are constants, then we can say the current is inversely proportional to the power factor. That means if the power factor cos phi is low, it will indicate the current will be high, and vice versa. So if the power factor is low and the current is high, then the first effect will be the rating of the generator and transformer is proportional to output current. That means if the power factor is low, the current will be high, then definitely the rating of the generator and transformer will also be high. Therefore, large machines are required, or you can say the larger machines are required to deliver the same amount of power. So if the power factor is low, the current will be high. The rating of the generator and transformer is directly proportional to the output current. So high current means the larger machines are required to deliver the same amount of power. The second disadvantage is if the current is high, then the voltage drop in the system will also be high. Therefore, the voltage regulation will be poor. We'll discuss about the voltage regulation during the chapter transformer. So as the current is high, the voltage drop of the system will also be increased. Therefore, the voltage regulation of the system will be low. The third effect is, as the current is high, because the power factor is low, therefore the I square R loss, it is also called as ohmic loss, will be increased, because this loss depends upon square of the current. So for a low power factor, the current will be more. For low power factor, the current will be high, and if the current is high, then the I square R loss will also be high. So if the I square R loss is more, that means the losses are increasing, therefore the output power will be less, and finally the efficiency of the system will also be low. So if the power factor is low, the current will be high, and if the current is high, the losses will be more. If the losses are more, then the output will be less, and if the output is less, so the efficiency is also less. The next point, the next disadvantage, we can consider it as the cross-section area of the conductor is directly proportional to the rating of the current. That means if the power factor of the system is low, so the current rating will be increased, And if the current rating is increased, therefore the cross-section area of the conductor should also be increased. And as a result, the cost of the system, the cost of conducting material is also high. Therefore, the overall cost of the system will also be increased. So these are the disadvantages, or we can say the effects of low power factor. So we have already seen that the power factor should be as high as possible. It should be as near to 1 as possible. And we have already seen that what are the disadvantages or effects of low power factor. So if the power factor of a system is low, then we have to improve its power factor to overcome the disadvantages. So the power factor can be improved by two different methods. The first one is by using static capacitor bank. It should be connected in parallel with the load. So we have already seen that the capacitive circuit draw the leading current. That means the current here lead the supply voltage, and the power factor basically becomes poor for the loads where the current lag the voltage. Therefore, if we use the capacitor in parallel with the load, it will increase the overall power factor of the circuit. Let's have an example. We can discuss it by using the phasor diagram. Let's say this is the supply voltage, and the power factor of a circuit of a load is such that the current in the circuit is I1. So it is lagging the supply voltage by an angle of phi. We can draw the circuit here. Let's say this is a resistive inductive circuit connected across a supply voltage V, and current flowing here is I1. So the phi 1 is the phase angle. It should be tan inverse XL upon R. So depending upon the inductive reactance and depending upon the value of resistance, we can calculate the phi 1. And let's say the phi 1 is very high. So the power factor, that is cos phi 1, is low. Now we have to improve the power factor of this system. So we can connect a capacitor in parallel with this load. So I have connected a capacitor in parallel with the load. So as we connect the capacitor parallel to the load, then a current will start to flow through the capacitive circuit, I2. And we have already seen that for a purely capacitive circuit, for a purely capacitor, the current lead the voltage by 90 degree. Therefore, in the phasor diagram, the current will lead the voltage by 90 degree. So I2 will lead the voltage by 90 degree. The overall current of the circuit, that means current supplying from the load, it is I, and it will be the sum of I1 and I2. So therefore we can add these two currents by using parallelogram concept. So here we will get the resultant current, that is the circuit current I. And we can see that the circuit current makes an angle with the supply voltage, let's say phi 2. So When we connect the capacitor across the load, I2 current starts flowing in the circuit, then the overall current I makes a smaller angle with the supply voltage. So definitely here the phi 2 is less than phi 1. So cos phi 2, that means the power factor of the whole circuit, will be now better than the previous condition, because phi 2 is less than phi 1. And if phi 2 is less than phi 1, then definitely cos phi 2 will be greater than phi 1. That means the power factor of the circuit is increased. From this phasor diagram, we can also see that initially the magnitude of the current was very high. But as we add the capacitor in the circuit, then the magnitude of the overall circuit current is reduced. So we have two advantages for using capacitor. The first one is the power factor will be improved, and the second is the magnitude of the circuit current is also reduced. By choosing the proper capacitor, if the current I2 magnitude is increased further, it is possible to make the overall circuit current is in phase with the supply voltage. That is also possible if we choose the capacitor values in such a way that the current I2 magnitude will be such that the resultant of I1 and I2 will be in phase with the supply voltage. It is also possible. So in this case, the power factor will become 1. Therefore, using static capacitor bank connected in parallel with the load, we can easily improve the power factor of the circuit. The second option for improving power factor is using synchronous condenser. What is synchronous condenser? Synchronous condenser is nothing but synchronous motor which run at no load and overexcited condition. So using synchronous condenser, we can also improve the power factor. And the synchronous condenser is what? It is nothing but the synchronous motor which run at no load condition and at overexcited conditions. We'll discuss about this in details in 4th module. So in this condition, when the synchronous motor is running at no load and overexcited condition, it behaves like a capacitor. That means in this condition, the synchronous motor will draw the leading current from the supply. So if we add the synchronous condenser, that means the overexcited and no load conditions synchronous motor parallel to the load, it will be just like a capacitor. And by using this method also, we can improve the power factor of the circuit, because the synchronous condenser is nothing but like a capacitor. So these are the two methods by which we can improve the power factor of the circuit. First one is using static capacitor bank, and second one is using synchronous condenser. Now the advantages of power factor improvement. So as we have seen that P is equal to VI cos phi, or I is equal to P upon V cos phi. So definitely if the power factor is improved, then the current will be reduced. Therefore, if the power factor of the supply or the power station is raised to unity, then the current for the same amount of power to be supplied is reduced to minimum. So the first advantage is the current will be reduced. If the power factor is improved, then definitely the current will be reduced. As a result, the losses are minimum, because if the current is low, then the I square R loss will be low, and hence the efficiency will be more. Also, the voltage drop is low, and voltage regulation is better. And the cross section area of conductor will be low, and as a result the cost is reduced. So if we improve the power factor, if it is reaches near to 1, then definitely from this relation so we can see that the current will be reduced. As a result, the losses will be minimum, so the efficiency will be more. If the current is reduced, then the voltage drop will also be low, and the voltage regulation will be much better. And as the cross section area of the conductor is directly proportional to the current rating, so if the power factor is improved, the current will be reduced, therefore the cross section area of the conductor will also be reduced, and as a result the cost will also be reduced for the whole system. Thank you.